church? Number one, God tells us to. First and foremost, God tells us in His Word to return a tithe and a liberal offering. We are to obey Him, thus we are to tithe. Even if it doesn't make sense to us, God is smarter than we are, and His ways are higher than our ways. He knows that tithing is for our own good, and that is why He tells us to do it. Number two, others need our help. Our tithes and offerings provide out for our churches and help them to continue to reach more people. In the book of Malachi, God tells us to tithe and bring an offering so that there may be food in His house. In other words, His church would have the finances and ability to do what it needs to reach the lost and the needy. In fact, when the economy is tough and people's finances are going south, we often see an increase in people reaching out to find Jesus and to get His help. If Christians stop giving, then the church won't be able to afford resources to reach these people. Number three, tithing keeps you focused on and trusting in God. If you stop giving in order to save money, you immediately stop trusting in God and start trusting in yourself and in the world. If you are truly trusting in God to provide for you, then you know that He can and will provide all of your needs, even when it seems like you can't afford to tithe and offer. There are so many different ways for God to bless you and provide for you that it's impossible to even guess them all. And number four, tough economic times are usually when you need God's blessing the most. God's blessing abound when we give liberally. So why would you want to stop the flow of blessing when you need Him the most? If unemployment rates are rising, don't you want God to bless you and to provide for you a steady income? If sales are going down, don't you want His blessing to increase your revenue in the midst of it? If gas prices are going south, don't you want God's blessing to help you afford to fill your tank? Obviously, God can choose to bless us anytime in any circumstance, but when we stop focusing on God as the Lord of our lives, we can easily miss out on the graces He wants to give to us. As Christians, why would we want to do our part to honor God, open the door to all the possibilities that He has in store for us? It is important for us to understand that the Bible doesn't make special provisions that exempt those on fixed incomes or government subsidies. It simply says, honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruits of all your income. As Proverbs chapter 3. No one knows just what the economy might do, but what we might be facing in the coming months. Nevertheless, Christians need to remember that the same God who provides for us in the good times, during the tough times, He provides for us too. So as Christians, when it comes to tithing, we should not look for ways to not to give, but rather we should look for ways to give more than we can. Remember that God is more concerned about the attitude of our hearts in giving than the percentage or the amount we give. Nevertheless, the minimum God asks for His people to do is to give tithe and offering, no matter what direction the economy might take. So whether we're in an economic downturn or experiencing abundance and wealth, let's keep our eyes on God. He never leaves us nor forsakes us.